As a tropical country, Vietnam has a lot of exotic fruit and products. Like, look at some of these things. Look at this fruit. It looks more like a torture weapon than something you would put into your mouth. It's actually unbelievably delicious. Please give it a try. And this fruit is called Thanh, named after one of the four mythical beasts that stand guard at the east direction. Why is it called that? Well, apparently its appearance resembles that of a dragon with green scales. And this fruit, I Longan? Logan. No. It does not look crazy or special in any way, but did you know that its name, Long nhãn, in Vietnamese, actually means dragon eye for big and round shape? I just thought that was an interesting fact, so I just wanted to share with you. Unsurprisingly, these are not the type of typical fruit you would eat on a daily basis. But I did at one point, and I love them a lot. They used to be my only source of vitamin because of import fruit like apple and oranges were expensive back then in Vietnam. However, there's one fruit that is so special and so bizarre that we create a whole story to justify what it is and how it came to be. I am of course referring to the myth of the breast milk fruit. The story goes like so. Once upon a time, there was a family of a mother and her sons, living in a small, shabby house. The roof was cracked and the well was always dry. Because they were poor and the son did not have a father, the mother doted on her son. She would work until she broke her back just to make ends meet. Even so, she would try to provide her son with the best thing she could offer. Now, I would like to pause here for a moment to explain something. I choose this story to do videos because this story is actually very typical of Vietnamese myth. The typical thing we see here is the missing father figure. It might not shock you to know that a lot of Vietnamese story make use of this. Almost all hero and or main protagonist does not have a father. This makes sense because in ancient civilization, they have a habit of starting war they cannot finish. And what do you need when you're starting a war? People, more specifically, men. Men who have to leave their wife and children behind. So missing a stern father figure to balance the loving mother, the son slowly grew up to become the most obnoxious person ever before. And as obnoxious people do, he went and destroyed the neighboring house and played practical joke on the peasant who has been working all day long. Yes, real nice of you. Needless to say, he was not popular with the people who lived there. After a string of people complaining to his mother, who in turn yelled at the boy, he got mad and ran away from home. Like to do. Without his mother, the boy became carefree. He wandered everywhere, steal money and fruit from other people. And after experiencing this freedom, the boy thought to himself, if only I did not have a mom, I could have lived however I want without getting complained at from the very beginning. So, if any of you at this moment still think that boy is somehow excusable because I don't know, because he's young and he's inexperienced and because he doesn't have a father, you can start thinking about that right at this moment. Needless to say, this carefree experience turned from sweet to sour extremely fast. The boy got beat up when people found out he was stealing, and without his mother protection, people were basically kicking him away from the neighborhood. Therefore, he wandered from town to town asking for food and shelter in vain. The boy kept on wandering everywhere until one day he stumbled across a familiar shabby house. The roof was still cracked and the well was still dry, with an addition of a strange tree growing leafy green on the front yard. However, this familiar scene was missing one important person. The boy cried out as he walked in. Mom, where are you? I'm home. An echo was his only answer. Desperate, the boy kneeled down before the tree and began weeping. Amidst his cry, one of the fruit fell down from the tree into his hand. Having been anguished and hunger for days, the boy took one big bite out of the fruit, but spat it out immediately before the bitter taste. The second fruit fell down, and the boy now learned to peel the fruit first and then bite down. But he then cried out in pain, so he hit the top seeds inside. The third fruit fell down, The boy now patiently peeled the fruit skin and took small bite around the crab. Only then was he able to eat the milky flesh of the fruit. The tree then began whispering a proverb. You have to eat a fruit 3 times to know its taste. A child must first grow up to know the hardship that parents have endured for them. It turned out that the mother had failed to wait for her son to return. After the day her son left, the mother cried herself to exhaustion and fell to the ground. From her body sprouted roots that later formed a new life. The tree in front of the boy now was his mother's undying love for him. Okay, deep breath. Oh God, that was depressing. It does make you think, however, how can a fruit so sweet in taste can have such a bitter taste about it? And as I said earlier, this is just one of the many tragic stories involving typical family issues. If we were to boil it down to its essential, the myth is basically about an ungrateful child when faced with dire consequences learned to error his way in the end. Very, very dire consequences indeed. However, just because it's typical does not mean that it's not good. This story in particular taught the value of family and the sacrifice they made for us. Like the mother figure in this story, right until her last breath, she was still crying out for her son. And even after she died, she was still there, standing, patiently waiting for her son to return home. And the 3 times the food fell down served as a symbol of family love. It's kind of like that saying of home is the place you can always return to. Well, in this story, the boy can make numerous mistakes, and his mother, serving as a figure of family love, will still forgive him and gladly offer him another chance, like the fruit keep falling down. This story also serves as a cautionary tale of what would happen if you do not value what you have now. Because once you leave what you have now, they will leave you too. Everything moves through the flow of time. Ăn trái 3 lần mới biết trái ngon, con có lớn khôn mới hay lòng mẹ. Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching this videos. If you enjoyed that video, please hit like and subscribe to my channels. And if you did not, that's okay too. I still love you and I'll promise to try harder next time. Please comment on what subject you would like to see and I will make a videos about that. Thank you so much and see you again. Bye bye.